Hey, so I get this question a lot. Hey, Manny, what is a factoring company and why do you use a factoring company? So I'm just going to break it down to you guys real quick in this video on what is a factoring company and why I choose to use a factoring company. So basically, a factoring company is, you could think about it in this way. A factoring company is like a bank, and that factoring company is going to buy your invoices for a fee, for a percentage. So you're going to sell your invoices to that factoring company for a certain percentage. Because just say, for example, you guys are out there hauling freight. You have your own authority, you have your own trucking company. You have the option to actually invoice the actual broker after you hauled that load for that broker. So you can invoice that broker directly and receive a check with, the whole pay of that actual load rate. So if you hauled that load for $1,000, if you invoice the broker for $1,000, you will receive that full $1,000. But the thing about it is when you invoice brokers have up till 90 days to pay you. So that's when the factoring service comes in. The factoring service will pay you within 24 hours, but they're going to charge you a percentage, anywhere from about 2 to 3 to 5%. So we're going to say anywhere from about 3 to 5%. They're going to charge you that to invoice them. And how that works is after you complete the load, you will invoice the factoring company. That factoring company will charge you anywhere from 2 to 5%, right? So if they charge you 5%, if you invoice them for $1,000, they're going to make $50 off of that invoice plus whatever service fees they have. So let's say you invoice them for $1,000, they're going to pay you $950 or a little bit less, just depends on their service fees, within 24 hours. So that's going to keep the cash flow coming in for you guys out there. So especially once you start this trucking business, you really need that cash flow coming in so that you're able to sustain. So you have a lot of expenses. You're going to have fuel. You're going to have truck, trailer note, commercial insurance. A lot of you guys won't be able to wait 90 days, up until 90 days, to get paid from an actual freight broker. So majority of business owners, especially trucking company owners out there, will at least start out that first year factoring their loads. So that's why I like it, because I like the fact of keeping that money coming in, because I know for a fact that a lot of brokers will wait up until the last day to pay you. And I don't really want to be waiting around for 2 to 3 months just to receive a paycheck. So how I like to do it is when I'm booking loads and I know that I'm going to actually invoice the factoring company to get paid within 24 hours, this is when negotiation, becomes very critical. So just say you're hauling a load for $1,000 and that freight broker gives you that load for $1,000. You guys have to negotiate the rate to be a little bit higher to offset that actual percentage that the factoring company is going to charge you. So if the freight broker is going to give you that load for $1,000, just negotiate and tell them, hey, I can haul it for $1,100. So now you have basically covered that factoring cost, because you already had your mind set to running that load for $1,000 because you could profit off of it. But just make sure you negotiate for another $50 or another $100 to kind of offset that factoring cost, so that mentally, it's not really coming out of your pocket, because you've already negotiated for that factoring fee. So that's how I look at it out there. And that's why I like to factor, because I like to actually get my money within 24 hours to keep that cash flow coming in. Because as you guys know, when you own a trucking company, you have a lot of expenses out there. So I highly recommend for you guys out there to at least start the first year. After that, then you figure it out. If you want to just invoice the broker directly, that's perfectly fine. But that first year, when you guys are starting out your trucking company, just go with a factoring service. Try to go get the best rate. Go get the 2, go get the 3%. you don't always have to start out with 5%, which is pretty much the average. So make sure when you're negotiating with these factoring companies, because they want your business. So tell them, hey, I could come in and I could actually sign up with you, but I need to be at 2 or 3%. And if they don't want to give you the 2 to 3%, go to the next factoring company. There's plenty of factoring companies out here. So you just don't have to start out and just go with one factoring company. So like I say, that's why I like to factor, because I like to get paid within 24 hours. Some of you guys out there might just like to invoice the broker and just wait to get that actual check, but I like the cash flow coming in. So that's why I like to factor. And basically that's what a factoring company is. A factoring company basically just buys your invoices, and the factoring company will invoice the broker and wait up until that 90 days to get paid. Because like I say, a factoring company is basically like a big bank, that they have a lot of money and they're able to pay these carriers within 24 hours out there. So if you guys have any questions, hit me up on my email, broker@mannystrans.com. Go visit my website, www.extraordinarymovement.com. CEO, commit, execute, and be obsessed. Everybody be great out there.